where they waka far. Now we be the medium, we go help you sell your market. All round entertainment, oh, for everybody. Jolly, 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 jolly tonight. This is your family station, oh. Family station, oh. Station for the people. NTA Lagos Channel 10. Station with a difference, oh. Station with a difference, oh. Station of excellence. NTA Lagos Channel 10. NTA Lagos Channel 10. Now the station for
Federal government approves the sum of 18 billion naira and other entitlements to families of fallen heroes. Advocates on gender inclusion in Africa meet in Addis Ababa to enforce human rights laws for equal opportunity, plus latest in the world of entertainment. Good evening and welcome to the news at 7 on NTA Lagos Channel 10. I am Ese Owomaka and we do apologize for starting behind schedule. Now the news in detail. The federal government has approved 18 billion naira for the payment of the group life assurance benefits and other entitlements to the family of service members who lost their lives in the line of duty. President Bola Tinubu revealed this at the launching of the 2024 Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebrations emblem and appeal fund. Details of this report shall be brought to you in our subsequent bulletin. Meanwhile, ECOWAS and the United Nations Refuge Agency, UNHCR, have signed an agreement aimed at deepening collaboration for the protection of refugees, stateless, and internal displaced persons in the sub-region. The president of the ECOWAS Commission, Omar Toure, signed on behalf of the sub-regional bloc, while Abdurraouf Non-Kono, the director of the UNHCR Regional Bureau of West and Central Africa, signed for the global body. The agreement signing, which was scheduled as part of the UNHCR Regional Directors Commission, was held in Abuja. Kelvin Ebunaye reports.
Between the two institutions was signed in 2001. This is a revised one with new areas of collaboration, such as the identification and protection of refugees found in risky migration movements, statelessness, emergency management, and long-term solutions to forcible displacements. Identifying and addressing the political and humanitarian crisis in the sub-region and how ECOWAS can work with member states to tackle the underlying causes of conflicts through diplomatic means was central in the conversation.
When you talk about displaced people, you certainly need to take into account the need to access them and to support them. This is why ECOWAS instruments provide clearly that no sanction should affect humanitarian access. And this has been made very clear in our communiques and in our press statements.
Given the level and the number of manner of crisis that we have in this region, it's very important that we join efforts and see exactly how we can work much better.
Across the West African sub-region, there are conflicts and insecurity issues, giving rise to over 6 million persons fleeing their homes, either as IDPs or forced migrants and asylum seekers. Nigeria and Burkina Faso are currently hosting the largest populations of displaced persons, while Niger Republic accommodates the largest refugee population of over 300,000. In Abuja, Kelvin Ewonwaye, NTA News.
Senate is set to amend some sections of the Act establishing the Central Bank of Nigeria to further strengthen its role of financial stability for economic development. 2 bills to that effect have passed second reading, One of the bills sponsored by Minority Whip, Senator Darlington Wokocha, seeks to, among others, allow for the separation of office of the head of management of the CBN from that of the governing board. The second bill, sponsored by Senator Sunday Karimi, seeks to ensure that the Apex Bank is more transparent and accountable in its operations. And you're still watching the news at 7 on NTA Lagos Channel 10. More to come after this time out to join us again.
Lucky Spring from 1xBet. Take part in promotion with cool prizes. Bet on any sports events. Get tickets. Have a chance to win cool prizes. The more you bet, the greater your chances. Use promo code to get a welcome bonus right now.
Can I see your particulars, sir?
Officer, my particulars no dey here.
In that case, you'll have to come with me to the police station.
Officer, which levels? Where I for find you something make you take arrange your weekend.
What? Offense number 1, driving without particulars. Offense number 2, trying to bribe an officer of the law.
I won't harass Nigerians or take bribe. Change begins with me.
This message is brought to you by the National Orientation Agency in conjunction with the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Jackpot of the week. Place bet and hit the jackpot. Log into the 1xBet account. Click on the Take Part button. Place bet and take part in the jackpot draw. Feel like a winner with 1xBet. Use promo code to get a bonus on your first deposit.
Welcome back, and now to women issues. Advocates on gender inclusion across Africa are meeting in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, to advocate the enforcement to human rights instruments that will create equal access to opportunities and strengthen legislations for the prioritization of issues concerning women and girl-child in the region. While Minister of Women and Social Affairs and other speakers at the conference commended different steps taken by African leaders on women's rights, they call for enhanced unity, support, and cooperation of accelerated development. The Addis Ababa.
Collectively, we need to scale up initiatives within the framework of the African continental free trade to ensure that women fully benefit from continental economic development.
The long-term goal of the AWC Leadership Development Center is to ensure that women are empowered with necessary skills, knowledge, and resources to become leaders and change makers in their respective communities.
Addis Ababa 2023, which is the 7th in the series, has as its theme reviewing the economic, social, and political inclusion of women and girls in Africa's development agenda. Some of the delegates have been speaking on how the engagement will birth productive partnerships and gender policy. This year's Africa's Women Conference is an initiative of Helpline Foundation for the Needy, a Nigerian-based non-governmental organization, and its partners. In another development, advocacy for the abolition of capital punishment in Nigeria's legal system is underway in Abuja. Some legal practitioners within and outside Nigeria believe strongly that the justice sector reform will go a long way in strengthening the judiciary in its dispensation of justice. Dele Atumbi reports.
With passion for the defense of capital offences. These legal practitioners are of the view that, in line with the provision of the Constitution, that an accused is innocent until a court of competent jurisdiction decides otherwise. They are also of the opinion that the justice sector should be reformed to improve the welfare of the pretrial detainees, just as the fate of the people on the death row is of concern to the capital offense defenders. In the next 3 days, the legal practitioners will be examining the role of capital offense defenders in protecting the rights of people facing capital punishments. They appealed to the stakeholders in the justice sector to abolish capital punishment.
So we're actually calling upon the government, calling upon all stakeholders to look at the various ways that they can help improve prison conditions generally, and of course conditions for persons on death row.
It is noble to fight for somebody who is hated even by the community, because the Constitution, what we believe as lawyers is that the Constitution guarantees him certain right. He has to have his day in court. So these things are what motivates us to fight for people on death row.
The legal practitioners stressed the need for a multi-pronged approach to address what they termed justice inequalities. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
And on the foreign scene, shocking levels of racism in Europe, plus an update on Finland's Baltic Sea gas pipeline damage. Let's get details from Halima Salau.
Highlighted shameful levels of racism in Europe, which it says is increasing across the region. The European Union Agency for Fundamental Rights found that people of Africa constantly face racial discrimination, harassment, and violence in all aspects of their lives. Imagine you apply for jobs but never hear back. Imagine you search for a home for your family but are never successful. Imagine you experience harassment or violence that leaves you deeply traumatized, wrote the European Union Agency for Fundamental Rights Director Michael O'Flaherty in the report. Moving on, Finnish investigators say they believe an anchor of the Chinese container ship was dislodged and caused the damage to the undersea Baltic Connector gas pipeline between Finland and Estonia on the Baltic Sea earlier this month. The National Bureau of Investigation, a branch of the Finnish police, said that it has evidence and data pointing to the Hong Kong-flagged cargo vessel, New Polar Bear, as the culprit in damaging the pipeline running across the Gulf of Finland. Detective Superintendent Risto Lohi, NBI head of the investigation, said in the news conference Tuesday that a 1.5 to 4 meter wide dragging on the trail seabed is seen to lead to the point of damage in the gas pipeline. And that's it on Foreign News. I am Halima Salau.
Moving on, MTV Europe Music Awards 2023, slated for November, has been cancelled due to the Israel-Gaza crisis. Again, Halima Salau has this and more on Entertainment News.
Europe Music Awards 2023, slated for November, has been cancelled due to the Israel-Gaza crisis. The ceremony was due to take place at Paris Nord, Philippines, with Bad Bunny, Taylor Swift, and Monsters up for awards. The event organizers said in a statement they look forward to the next MTV Europe Music Awards in 2024. Moving on, 2023 has been an eventful year in the Nigerian music industry, with multiple artists dropping new projects that combine to continue Afrobeat's commercial rights. Rema, who is enjoying an incredible 2023 with a massive international success, as his hit single Calm Down with Selena Gomez is set to drop a new EP it calls Ravage. Award-winning rapper Reminisce is set to release his 5th album, Alaye Toshegogo. The 13-track album has guest appearances with the likes of Olamide, Mayokun, Odumodu Black, Mohbad, Oxlade, Dremo, and BNXN, among others. Meanwhile, Billboard lists Rema's manager, Sean Okeke, others as global top talent managers. Okeke has consistently demonstrated an unparalleled dedication to the entertainment field. Sean Okeke, also known as Super Sean, a highly respected figure in the music industry, has been recognized by Billboard as one of the world's top talent managers. And that's it on Entertainment News. I am Halima Salau.
Moving on to sports, Nigeria Olympic Committee partners Ministry of Sports Development to ensure Team Nigeria athletes compete clean at the Paris 2024 Games. For details of this and other stories, let's join Bright Ipocho for Sports Update.
President of the Nigerian Olympic Committee, Habu Gumel, says the NOC will work together with the leadership of the Ministry of Sports Development to ensure that necessary machinery needed for Team Nigerian athletes are provided to compete clean at the Paris 2024 Games. These were some of the resolves of the committee leadership when they interacted with the sports minister in Abuja Tuesday.
The best way we can do to, to encourage and to say, to appreciate this move is made is in terms of how we work within the sporting, ecosystem.
To volleyball, as the 2023 Taraba State Interlocal Government and Clubs Beach Volleyball Championship kickstart at the Jolly Nyame Stadium, Jalingo, Simon Danladi Atta reports that the event is a prelude to the National Beach Volleyball Tour scheduled to hold at the stadium.
We are hosting the National Beach Tournament here, which is starting on the 26th. So we're trying to see if we can get players that will represent us in the National Beach Championship, because we're having Olympians coming to Taraba State. People that have gone to World Beach Championships are coming to Taraba State from on Thursday. So they will all be here, this very particular field.
In football, Arsenal on Tuesday in the UEFA Champions League secured a 2-1 away win at Sevilla as Real Madrid beat Sporting Braga 2-1 away from home, while Inter Milan secured a 2-1 home win over Salzburg. Manchester United recorded a 1-0 win over Copenhagen at Old Trafford. Meanwhile, in the Wednesday fixtures, PSG will host AC Milan, Barcelona will lock horns against Shakhtar Donetsk at the Olympic Stadium, while Manchester City will travel away from home to square up with Young Boys. For Sports Update, Bright Ebuchu, NTA News.
And that concludes the English version of the news at 7 on NTA Lagos Channel 10. Many thanks for your time. I am S.A. Owamaka. Benga Oluyede is standing by for the news in Yoruba language. Good evening.
ẹ kú àṣálẹ́ ẹ sì kú dédé àsìkò yìí àkójọpọ̀ ìròyìn ló ń dé sí etí ìgbọ́ yín láti iléeṣẹ́ amóhùnmáwòrán ìjọba àpapọ̀ tó wà ní ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó. Gbénga Olóyèdè ni oníròyìn. Ìròyìn rèé lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́. Ìjọba àpapọ̀ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ti bu ọwọ́ lu owó tó tó ní bílíọ̀nù náírà fún sísan owó àwọn ẹgbẹ́ kan tí owó náà jẹ́ ọ̀kan ìdánilójú owó ìgbé ayé àti àǹfààní òmíràn àti ẹ̀tọ́ tó tọ́ sí wọn fún àwọn ẹbí àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ tí wọ́n pàdánù ẹ̀mí wọn ní àsìkò tí wọ́n wà lẹ́nu iṣẹ́ wọn tí wọ́n yàn láàyò. Ààrẹ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu ló fi ẹ̀rí ìdánilójú náà hàn níbi ètò ìfilọ́lẹ̀ ayẹyẹ ìgbówókalẹ̀ ìṣèrántí àwọn akọni ológun tí wọ́n ṣiṣẹ́ takuntakun pàdánù ẹ̀mí wọn ní àsìkò tí wọ́n wà lẹ́nu iṣẹ́ tí wọ́n yàn láàyò. Alágbàwí fún ìmúkúrò olú ìjìyà tó ń bẹ nínú ìlànà òfin ti orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ni wọ́n sọ wípé ó ti ń lọ lọ́wọ́ ní ìlú Àbújá. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni àwọn ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n tí wọ́n mọnú ìgbìmọ̀ karahun ní ẹ̀ka ìdájọ́ tí wọ́n wà ní inú ìlú orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà àti ní ẹ̀yìn odi lọ́hùn-ún ni wọ́n ní ìgbàgbọ́ gidigidi wípé mímú ìyípadà dé bá ẹ̀ka ìdájọ́ ní orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà yóò gba ọ̀pọ̀ ìrìn àjò ọlọ́jọ́ púpọ̀ láti fi òkun kún agbára ẹ̀ka ìdájọ́ látàrí ìgbáradì tó yanrantí ní ẹ̀ka ìdájọ́ ti orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà. Àjọ ECOWAS àti àjọ ìbẹ̀wẹ̀ tí wọ́n mójútó ètò tàwọn ènìyàn tí wọ́n sá àsálà fún ẹ̀mí wọn lábẹ́ ẹkùn ti United Nations ni wọ́n ti bu ọwọ́ lu ìwé àdéhùn ìbáṣepọ̀ fún dídáàbòbò àwọn ènìyàn tí wọ́n sá àsálà fún ẹ̀mí wọn àti àwọn ààrẹ ogunléndé tí wọ́n wà ní agbègbè ìpín ní ilẹ̀ Áfíríkà. Ààrẹ ìgbìmọ̀ àjọ ti ECOWAS Omar Touré ló bu ọwọ́ lu ìwé àdéhùn àti ìbáṣepọ̀ ọ̀hún fún ti ẹkùn agbègbè ìpín ti ilẹ̀ Áfíríkà. Bákan náà ni olùdarí agbègbè ẹkùn àárín ìwọ̀ oòrùn ti ilẹ̀ Áfíríkà Abdulrauf Grimond ló bu ọwọ́ lu ìwé àdéhùn àti ìbáṣepọ̀ fún ti gbogbo àgbáyé gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọ̀kan ètò tí wọ́n tẹ́ pẹpẹ rẹ̀ ní ìlú Àbújá. Tọ́ àsùnjí lórun ta àṣálẹ́ ìní Yewenu Bámidélé ti wà níkàlẹ̀ láti mú ìyókù ròyìn wá fún inú èdè Ògùn. Gbénga Olóyèdè ń kí yín. Ire o.
mẹ̀ṣẹ́lẹ̀ mi kúndó wèjà yìí mo kúndó àsùnẹ́gbẹ̀tàn ìwé ní sọ́ni ìhọ̀ àwòtọ́ yìí tó tẹ́jú oṣó yẹn nìtàn ìyẹ̀wò inú bá mi délé ìlọ́dẹ̀ tó kí gọ́mẹ̀ yìí òtò gbógán Bọ́lá Tinubu wẹ̀yìn mẹ́ òde àfọ̀sán ònú èyí àwọn fúngbẹ́lẹ̀ sí fífín sí nùdé yìí àyájìjẹ́ yìí tán kúrò nù ègàngbọ́n ìkólẹ̀ kúrò àdómọ̀rọ̀ yìí chákwẹ́ pínná ewẹ́yìn nù èbáyìí tó wẹ̀ nù èyí sí àyín tó òpé déyìn òpé ìdáhó ètí tó Àbújá tó wẹ̀ nù mẹ́yìn tó gbógán Tinubu edegbedomlo to emi tan namro mlo dagbe emi aso mo mlo mi na kwan do po na do mlo ye na alo dalaga ina sin mo nya alo gona gboro o na mepo na do mlo me oye agbesa ton do sanfo o na to lo na dagbe ni mo do tin ai mo do no jijo ho na mi so no po bo mo se no po to o to lo me to Nigeria me de gbon me yin àwọn afungbele dali de to gbe po de okupo edo ye me biwe mi na mo mi ne bai alogona da hona were esi ayin meyin le shato no opwe logbe da udon musba we hin logdo mo le do be akwechincha lo do me eyin nu kontole de be kwela yi we yi o meyin me no si ayin nu kunpenugo etin to otogbology le yo federal executive council mo jawa yi o meyin o 50 tole bodo me so yin ahun afungbele po ohodido nadomuromlo yede yegbopodo mehuhu dogbon osen sin odali ni melowa danunde we nu eyigbe to pelu esi ayin nadodo hole to Abuja we yin hode meyin osen hodotole de tinto otome olude masoto to mele po to Nigeria le po ye mebi si ayin nadodo holodomlo osen sinu eyin nu edona fankmo poraso vojrado nadomuromlo ena yin we na lodo to te na do mlo osen kwetole ida mo se do wason na do mo se do na osenu bodo oya leje na mele ni du do gbon osen dali dele atumbi we no filo to penu e to kwene do ye do na mlo osen sin ho ena yin we na vojrado we da so yin adodode to lo me na do mo no ko ina tin mo janwe ina do de beto hu do gbon se dali ina de seme òtítọ́ eyín ECOWAS tán kódó lè sọ yín kàn tó pọ̀ yòvó lẹ́sìn tó lẹ́ẹ̀kan yọ̀rọ̀ UN kódó ECOWAS pọ̀ wẹ̀yìn mẹ̀sí àyín bòde àlọ́ bòzérò wèé máa ló pọ̀ mẹ́ àdómọ̀lọ́mọ̀lọ́ yé mọ̀dọ́mọ̀lọ́ kàn tó pọ̀ dàhógbó tí tó chẹ́chẹ́ mi láyé bí àwẹ̀lẹ̀ àdómọ̀lọ́mọ̀ yé mọ̀ àlọ́gọ́ná ná mẹ̀yìn mẹ̀hàn sọ́hìgbè dógbọ̀n dánú wíwá etí tó yé tán dàlí kódó mẹ̀ màsọ́dó òtòlépọ̀ ó mẹ̀ sọ́yìn àwọn àwẹ̀ yé dó bọ̀ yé mẹ̀bí jẹ̀gbé dọ̀ yé mẹ̀bí dónámọ̀ mẹ̀yìn náà gbọ́ náà yé aso mlo yina mlo nu ngale ma joto ye me oyin o to gboganu kan to na ECOWAS sin onu wiwa lo be yin o mature we yin de dalo bi ma me na ECOWAS sin dali we dalo bi ma iton me mo jawe me yin Aburauf Congo ni we yin me so yin nu kan to le no kan we na UNHCR sin ogbe de yin UN ton do yele ni mo se mo kan we lodupo na ro mlo Africa sin to me gbodo meyin meto emele bi po boyin menu mokoton jodore na mo te lo inu kan ewe yin de ewa to nu eyin dopo to wiwa eton le me do wenu ewa na do ba jona to Abuja we to we wa ba jona Abuja Kevin e no filo bodo ayi sinsin lo we do dalo mi ma lo me ado mo lo me oyin àwọn meyin àwọn aso igbebo ebe jegbele yeme bi na mo se lo mo alogona bo ya so mo lo alona chon yeji gbo nu yin akare ma wa e pe itan o mechele e ma o gan le to egbe na mi sọ pé to asan le fogbe esun to fun
Excellence, station with a difference, station of the people. NTA Lagos Channel 10. For information and education, for all round entertainment, for quality programs. NTA Lagos.